All right, welcome to another deep dive. This time we're going deep on success, why you fail where others succeed.
By Thibaut Meurisse.
That's the one. And, you picked this out, so clearly you're interested in figuring out this whole success thing.
Absolutely.
Now, I've got to say, this book is not your typical, rah-rah motivational stuff. It actually gets into some pretty deep stuff,
Yeah,
which is why we've got an expert here to help us break it down.
my pleasure to be here.
This is Anna. She's a professor at University 365, and she knows a thing or two about this topic.
Well, Maurisse's book really is a favorite of mine. It's insightful about how people work, but then it actually gives real advice you can use, which I think is what we're all about at University 365, taking what we know and actually doing something with it.
Okay, so let's get into it. Meurisse lays out 5 kind of core principles, and right off the bat, this first one, reality is subjective, really caught my eye.
Yeah.
First I thought, oh, this is just think positive and good things will happen.
Yeah.
But he goes deeper, doesn't he?
Oh, for sure. It's not about pretending everything's perfect or, denying the tough stuff. Maurice actually uses Thomas Edison as an example, the classic story, thousands of tries before he gets the light bulb right.
Right.
The thing is, Edison didn't see those as failures.
Interesting.
He thought of them as experiments. Each one was just getting him closer.
Okay, so it's a shift in perspective, but it's got to be more than that, right? How did that shift actually change what Edison did?
That's the cool part. By seeing each quote unquote failure as data, as information, Edison could actually analyze what didn't work and then try something different. So this mindset kept him going because he wasn't getting discouraged. He was just learning.
Ah, I see. So it's not just about feeling good, it's about how that feeling good actually makes you do different stuff.
Exactly.
And this reminds me a lot of the UNOP method that you guys use at U365.
Right.
The University 365 neuroscience-oriented pedagogy.
Long name.
Yeah, but what is that in a nutshell?
So UNOP is all about training your brain, literally training it for success. We use things like the Pomodoro technique, working in those focused bursts. It helps students break down big tasks, concentrate better, and not feel so overwhelmed. Basically, you work with your brain, not against it.
So you're actually rewiring how students think.
Kind of, yeah. When you use these techniques consistently, you strengthen the pathways in your brain, the ones for focus, for getting things done, and for bouncing back from setbacks.
Oh.
And we don't just stop there. We use mind mapping so students can see things visually, get organized, and even binaural sounds to kind of nudge the brain waves in the right direction.
Binaural sounds, what, like meditation music or something?
It can be used for that, sure, but it's more specific than just relaxing tunes.
Right.
Certain sound frequencies can actually make your brain produce different waves, the kinds linked to focus or relaxing, even getting creative.
That is so cool. Okay, on to Meurisse's second principle, detaching from negative thoughts. Is he saying we should just ignore all the bad stuff in our heads?
Not exactly. We all have negative thoughts. That's just being human. Meurisse, kind of like Eckhart Tolle, points out that you are not your thoughts.
Yeah.
Mindfulness helps us just observe them without getting all wrapped up in them, judging them. It's like watching clouds go by. You see them, but you don't let them dictate your whole mood,
I think
right?
that makes sense. But isn't there a danger of just bottling up negative emotions?
Yeah.
How do you detach in a way that's actually healthy?
That's such a good question. It's not about denying anything. It's about creating some space between you and the thought. Meurisse talks about journaling, for example.
Oh, okay.
Writing down what's in your head helps you get it OUT of your head,
Yeah.
Then you can look at it more objectively.
So it's about putting it on paper almost like it's not yours anymore.
Exactly.
I like that. Now, does University 365, you guys deal with this whole emotional side of success too?
Oh, absolutely. Our ULM program, the life management one, has mindfulness practices built right in, and we do a lot with emotional intelligence. We even use this technique called NSDR, non-sleep deep rest.
NSDR. Another one of those, huh? What's that all about?
Basically, it helps students calm their minds way down and de-stress.
Okay, so how does all this relate back to, actually succeeding? Is Meurisse saying just chill out, ignore the bad stuff, and you'll magically make it?
He's not saying that. No magic here. He's saying that our thoughts, they create our reality. So when we let go of those negative patterns, we make room for the positive ones, the ones that empower us. It doesn't mean ignoring problems, but it means facing them with a clear head and a focused mind.
Right, so it's about managing your mental state so you're in the best shape to, tackle whatever comes your way.
Exactly.
This reminds me of this time when I was facing this crazy deadline. I was so stressed out. I was like, there's no way I'm going to finish this. But then I remembered something about reframing those negative thoughts. Instead of saying, I can't, I started asking, okay, how can I make this work? So I broke the project down into smaller bits. And you know what? That shift, it actually helped.
That's perfect. That's Meurisse in action. You didn't ignore the problem. You just tackled it from a better angle, a more helpful mindset.
Right.
And that whole breaking things down thing, that's huge in U365's goal-setting programs.
Which, speaking of, brings us to Meurisse's third principle. Success is subjective.
Right.
This one seems pretty obvious, but I'm curious. At University 365, how do you actually help students define what success means to them?
Well, it starts with knowing yourself. What do you value? What are you passionate about? What are you good at? Our EVA system, that's explore, visualize, act, guides them through that whole process. It's not about fitting into some mold. It's about, like, crafting your vision, something that's truly you.
So no one-size-fits-all definition of success.
Nope.
I like that. But let's be real. There's always that pressure, from society to be successful in a certain way. How do you help students deal with that?
Oh, absolutely. Those pressures are real. We talk about them openly so students know they're not alone. We also emphasize that success isn't some finish line you cross. It's the whole journey. It's about making choices that match your values, even if they're different from what everyone else is doing.
Makes sense. Like finding your own path, even if it's not the well-worn one. Okay, principle number 4, radical responsibility. Meurisse says that blaming outside stuff keeps you stuck, while taking ownership, that's what gives you power.
Right.
I get that, but doesn't it get kind of overwhelming, to feel responsible for everything?
It can feel like a lot at first, but remember, it's not about blaming yourself for every little thing. It's about seeing where you have control. Even when things seem totally out of your hands, you always control how you react to them. You control your attitude. You control your choices.
So focusing on the things you can influence,
Yeah,
even if it's just your own, internal world.
exactly.
That reminds me of U365's digital second brain, the LPS thing.
Yeah.
That's life interest project system, right?
You got it.
So what is that exactly?
It's this powerful way to get a handle on your information, your goals, really your whole life. It's a simple framework: collect, action plan, review, execute.
So it's a system to support you in taking responsibility, not just relying on, willpower or whatever.
Totally.
Does LPS tie into Meurisse's goal-setting stuff too?
Oh, for sure. Meurisse is all about setting clear goals, the kind you can actually take action on.
Okay.
He says write them down, break them into smaller steps, and focus on building habits. LPS is perfect for that.
It sounds like LPS could be huge for anyone who struggles with, staying organized, actually getting things done. What I find really interesting about U365 is how you blend the tech stuff with human support.
Right.
It's like you're getting the best of both worlds.
That's the whole idea. Tech is amazing, but it works best when you've got real people, real guidance along with it. We've got amazing instructors, people who are passionate about helping students succeed, and we use AI to give that personalized support, that feedback that everyone needs.
Speaking of AI, you mentioned earlier that U365 has a AI goal-setting coach.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this U-Copilot.
It's like having a mentor in your pocket 24/7.
Wow.
It helps you come up with ideas, break goals into steps, track your progress, and it even gives you personalized feedback and encouragement. It's incredible for staying focused and accountable.
It's like that extra push we all need sometimes to stay on track.
Yeah.
A cheerleader, A&D, and accountability buddy, all in one.
Actually.
So that frees up your human instructors to do what they do best.
Exactly. They can focus on that deeper guidance, that mentorship.
Okay, we've covered a lot. From rewiring our brains to letting go of negative thoughts, taking responsibility, all of it. Meurisse's 5th principle, goal setting, it seems like the natural end point for all this. How does University 365 incorporate this last principle into what you do?
Well, Meurisse has some really practical tips for setting goals, and at University 365, we give you the resources and support to actually use them. We teach students how to set SMART goals. That's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound.
SMART goals, classic.
Yeah.
But it's not just about setting them, it's about actually achieving them, right?
Right.
What kind of tools does U365 provide to keep students motivated and, help them overcome obstacles?
We have a ton of resources: online trackers, productivity tools, peer support groups, even one-on-one coaching sessions, and of course, UCopilot is always there every step of the way.
It's like U365 has built this whole ecosystem for success. What I'm hearing is it's not just about learning stuff. It's about actually using it, developing the right mindset, having a supportive community. It's
Yes.
like a holistic approach beyond just academics.
Exactly. We believe true success involves all of you, your well-being, your relationships, your purpose. It's about living a life that has meaning, that feels fulfilling, and that's what we want for our students.
That's a powerful message. And it really echoes Meurice's point about defining your own Abuan success. It's not about chasing someone else's idea of it. It's about building a life that is truly yours.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we've been talking, I've been thinking about a question Meurice asks in the book. If success, I, is subjective, does society's definition of it need to change too? What do you think?
Ooh, good question. I do think there's a shift happening. People are realizing that the old markers of success, money, status, power, they don't always equal happiness. More and more folks are looking for meaning, for purpose in their work and their lives.
So maybe we're seeing a real change where success becomes more about personal growth, about contributing to the world, about living according to your values.
I think so, and it's really exciting. It's exciting to see how individuals, organizations, and even schools like University 365 are embracing this new definition.
I'm with you there. Okay, before we wrap up, I want to make sure our listener knows how to actually apply all this awesome stuff to their own life.
Absolutely. Marissa's book gives tons of practical advice, and University 365 has the tools, the resources, and the support to put that advice into action.
So whether you want to get more done, manage stress better, hit your goals, or just live a more fulfilling life, you've got options.
We've got something for everyone.
It sounds like U365 is like a roadmap for navigating life's craziness and achieving success on your terms.
That's it,
I
exactly.
bet our listeners are ready to learn more.
I hope so. I encourage anyone who's interested to check out the University 365 website. You'll find out all about our programs, our philosophy, and how dedicated we are to helping people become their best selves.
That's fantastic. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll dive into how University 365 can help you put these powerful principles to work and create a life of success and fulfillment. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've explored Meurice's ideas, and now let's see how they connect to what University 365 actually does.
Yeah.
The strategies and resources they offer. Because knowing stuff is only good if you actually use it right.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, but only when you put it into action.
Now, one thing that keeps coming up for me is this balance between personal responsibility and, acknowledging those external factors that we don't always control. Meurice is big on radical responsibility, but what about those cases where people are facing real barriers, systemic issues? It's not always a level playing field.
That's a really important point, and we absolutely recognize that everyone starts from a different place. At University 365, we're dedicated to creating an inclusive environment where everyone feels supported and empowered, regardless of their background. So yes, we emphasize personal agency, but we also acknowledge the larger context, the reality of the world we're all navigating.
So it's not about pretending those external factors don't exist. It's about equipping people with the tools and mindset to deal with them effectively.
Exactly. It's about recognizing both the power we have within ourselves and the realities of the world around us. And that's where a supportive community can make such a difference.
Which brings me to my next question. Community. How does University 365 foster that sense of connection, of belonging among its students? We've talked a lot about tech, about individual empowerment, but what about the human element?
The human element is at the core of everything we do. We have amazing instructors who are passionate about supporting students on their learning journeys. We also have peer-to-peer mentoring programs, online forums, even virtual study groups. It's all about creating that sense of camaraderie, of shared purpose.
It's like you've built a virtual campus where people can connect, collaborate, and support each other.
That's exactly what we're aiming for. We believe learning is a social experience, and we want to create a space where students feel seen, heard, and valued.
Throughout this whole deep dive, it's really struck me how University 365 addresses both the inner and outer aspects of success. It's not just about reaching goals. It's about, becoming a well-rounded person who thrives in all areas of life.
You got it. We believe that true success is holistic. It's about having a growth mindset, managing your energy, your emotions, building strong relationships, and contributing to something bigger than yourself.
I love that. And it all goes back to Meurice's idea that success is, subjective. It's not about fitting into some mold. It's about creating a life that aligns with your values, your passions, and your unique definition of what it means to feel fulfilled.
Exactly. It's about living a life that feels authentic and meaningful, a life that you're proud of.
And that's a definition of success, I think, that we can all get behind. Well, on that inspiring note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into Thibaut Meurisse's Success, Why You Fail Where Others Succeed. I want to thank you, Anna, for sharing your insights with us today.
The pleasure was all mine. I hope this deep dive has given everyone some valuable knowledge, some practical tools to start on their own journey toward success. And remember, it's not a destination, it's an ongoing process of growing, learning, and discovering who you truly are.
Beautifully said. And to our listener, if you're ready to take that next step, I encourage you to check out the incredible resources and programs that University 365 has to offer. You might be surprised at how attainable success can be.
I completely agree.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep striving for that amazing life that's waiting for you.